This is Ronnie Laughing Toronto with part 2 of my Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Human Alliance Skids and RC review. In part 1 I showed off Skids' transformation, RC's transformation, and vehicle size comparison. So go back to part 1 if you didn't see his transformation. So I'm going to show off some size comparisons of him in robot mode. So I'll take Skids and the Michaela and RC away. And Skids is a very nice figure, but unfortunately he is very close to being a deluxe class size, although bulkier than a deluxe class size. Very close to being a deluxe class size, so he will fit in better, but he is shorter. So never really got to see Skids and Sideswipe next to each other, so you don't really know what they would look like, but I have a feeling this was pretty close, so they look very nice next to each other. And as for Bumblebee, since I was worrying that when Human Alliance Skids come out, he would be bigger than the Deluxe and very close to being a Sideswipe's height, I thought he would be very close to being Bumblebee's size, so that worried me. But now, since I do have Skids and he is shorter, he looks way better next to Bumblebee than his Deluxe. So that is very nice, and I'm really glad he's smaller. So it's not a downside, it's actually a plus to the figure since he's small. So that's the size comparisons. As for RC, you can see here I compared her to a human figure in my part 1 review. So here she is again with Michaela. So not much bigger. Now that you have an idea of how big RC is, I'll also compare RC to Skids, who nice addition to the set. Again, but not needed. As for Skids, he's quite posable, very posable, if not more posable than Bumblebee and Sideswipe. He has a lot of paneling that moves on his chest, which can make that collar like in his ice cream truck mode, and a very nice head sculpt, and the gold tooth and everything. But although since he does not have a face mask, they had to incorporate in a head gimmick, so they took this piece of his head sculpting. When he puts it down, he talks, and I really like that, and I hope they use that same gimmick for Mudflap. That's a great gimmick, much better than a face mask. If you're into stop motions, it's very neat to have a talking toy. Doesn't talk, but his mouth actually moves. So that's a very nice gimmick. The doors are there. Unfortunately, there are doors. But in a lot of pictures they were out. If you just keep them back, they're out of the way, you don't really notice them, although they are there. Not as bad as I thought, so that's a good thing. As for his gimmicks, he has the big arm and the small arm, and the cannon on the big arm. And the gimmick that goes with that is that if you take the missile out, open up the seat, fold this in there, and pop the missile back in there, and lift this handlebar up, you can either fit Sam Epps, but is meant for Michaela. So you fit Michaela on there, and she actually will sit there and fire the gun. Please do not leave funny, dumb comments about this. This is a child's toy, and if you think otherwise about this gimmick, you have a very wrong mind. So please no comments about this gimmick. All it is a little figure sitting on a toy firing the gun. So please do not leave any dumb comments. So you can see it works out very well and is a very nice addition to the blaster on Skids' arm. So you just take that away, fold down this, take out the missile, fold this out, fold this back down, and just put it off this side. You can also fit a human on the other door if you please. And in the hands, there's also tabs there and there. So if you wanted to fit a human figure on there, like Sam. Although Skids' pegs are a little tight, so it's hard to fit figures on his pegs. So just tab in a figure. And Skids has some bouncing issues because I'm doing a review, but he will stand very nicely if you get him right. So you can see he can hold Human Alliance figures. For his last gimmick, if you come back here similar to Bumblebee, you just fold out this Gatling gun, and right in there is a place where you can have Michaela stand on those two pegs and operate the machine gun. So if you just get Michaela or any other Human Alliance figure, just put them in there. I'm not going to tab her in since that will take time, but here's a visual idea. They can fire the gun, and again incorporates the Human Alliance idea of this line. Again, just bring this back, and that's most of the gimmicks. That's most of the gimmicks for Human Alliance Skids. Very nice gimmicks. I really like the design of this toy, and for once I actually hope that Mudflap is a remolded version of this, so all hopes go to Mudflap to create a Human Alliance duo to make the best Human Alliance figures. For Skids, I'll give you a 360 view. He is very accurate in the front, but unfortunately in the back he has his wings, which can hide. And again, just like Bumblebee or Sideswipe, he has the car on his back, so don't just harp on Sideswipe. But all in all, very nice figure, and a much more accurate Skids. And what's even cooler, on the seats on the back, they have individual moldings, just like in the movie, where the arms are different looking. So that's a very nice addition. And that's about all I can say for Skids. So here he is with Michaela and RC. This is a great set. I recommend you pick him up, and Mudflap if given the chance, when Mudflap's available. Skids just might be better than Human Alliance Mudflap, but we'll see when we see him. This is a great set, and I recommend you pick him up. I hope you like this review. I'll have more coming out, but I'm going to slow down on the review since I'm going back to school. Whole new school, so I'm going to have to get used to it. So, this is Ronnie live from Toronto with Skids, RC, and Michaela, and I hope you enjoyed this review.